Printing United Expo is where the entire printing industry unites under one roof. Explore cutting edge technology from over 800 exhibitors, see live product demonstrations, and discover solutions that can transform your business. With exclusive education sessions, expert insights, and endless networking opportunities, this is the must attend event for anyone in print. No matter your role, Printing United Expo delivers the innovation, connections, and knowledge to help you stay ahead. Join us this September 23rd to the 25th in Las Vegas. Learn more at printingunited.com and experience the future of print today.
This is the Impressions Exchange Podcast. Where all topics impacting the graphic imaging and printing industry are addressed via in-depth news coverage, analysis, and timely interviews.
Hi everyone, I'm Kaylee Vandewater, Senior Content Editor for the Printing United Alliance Media Brands, and today I have Amy Servi-Bonner with me, and she is Vice President of Printing AI. So Amy, thanks for joining me today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Of course. And Amy, obviously you're the resident AI expert here at the Alliance, and you've been super tuned in with what's going on lately, which honestly is very much a feat because there's always something new happening.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess to start us off, I wanted to talk to you about Printing AI itself because the first anniversary of Printing AI is coming up very quickly.
Yep.
And a lot's changed over the past year or so in AI and Printing AI itself. So how have you seen AI evolve in this industry since this initiative began?
Oh man, it's been a ride for sure. You know, when we launched last year at Expo, we launched with a pretty simple belief, which was, this industry deserves a resource that tells it the truth about AI, not the hype, not the vendor pitch, but the operational reality. What does it cost? What does it return? And what happens if you wait? So 12 months in, I can tell you the industry showed up ready for that conversation. And we're really just getting started.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. So where do you think the industry is in terms of adoption? Because I know towards the beginning, at least I was hearing companies were dabbling with different tools, experimenting a lot, but we've talked about this before. The real benefit of AI is seeing ROI. So are companies seeing ROI, or where are we in terms of adoption?
Sure. So I would say both ends of the spectrum are real. And I think it's important to be honest about that. The center of gravity has clearly moved past proof of concept. The ROI is real, but it's real where it's targeted. So the companies that are seeing returns picked one workflow, they've measured it, and they've expanded from there. And the ones that are still stuck in experimentation are those that tried to boil the ocean or bought a tool before they really understood the problem they were solving for. So the biggest barriers right now are not technical, they're internal. It's things like accountability, cybersecurity, the ROI uncertainty. And, that's precisely why the partner approach and selection of the partner really matters from an AI perspective. Picking right the first time is the difference between a return and a stalled pilot that you never really want to talk about again.
Yeah, definitely. I think you really hit on some of those really big barriers. What are some of the biggest opportunities for printing and packaging companies in terms of AI right now?
Knowledge capture, knowledge transfer, full stop. We've talked about this just this year, starting at what I would say is back at the Inkjet Summit when I kind of launched the first discussion around tribal knowledge and knowledge sovereignty and what that really means to our industry. And, when you think about the group of people that have been in this industry for so long, I mean, people are getting to the point where they're aging out. Retirements are very much part of the discussion, and, concern around how do we harness that information that's in the people's heads that have built this industry for so many years. And retain that so that AI can be trained on that information. Underneath what's happening right now, is this kind of workforce cliff that I say, that has been going on for years. But right now, when you talk to companies and they can't find skilled operators and technicians, which I would say 95% of the companies that are out there can't hire the right people. And it's going to get worse, right? So, when you think about the average commercial operator, inkjet operator, for example, is 48 years old. 80% of the knowledge that keeps these jobs running clean live inside the people and not in any system or in any SOP. And so when one of those people walks out the door, wins the lottery, retires or whatever, it costs 1 to 2 times that person's annual salary to replace what they know. So that is the opportunity right now. It's not necessarily replacing people, it's capturing what they know before it leaves and turning that into an asset that the operation already owns. So Printing AI, we're calling that knowledge sovereignty. And it's the ROI is not a nice to have on that number. It's really a survival number. So that's, to us right now, that's the biggest AI opportunity.
Yeah, no, I think it's a huge opportunity. So shifting gears a little bit, we talked about printing AI and the general state of AI right now, but we're also gearing up for Printing United Expo, which is taking place September 23rd to 25th in Vegas this
Mhm.
year.
Yep.
So this is gonna be the second appearance at the expo for Printing AI, which last year the Printing AI Pavilion was insane. It
Yeah.
was just so packed that was overflowing. So this year it's back, and I know there's a lot planned for this year. So can you start by sharing what's back on the docket for this year? What are we going to see again?
Sure. So we're bringing back the thing that made the pavilion different, which is practitioner first. So
Mhm.
this is going to sound terrible, but it's not a vendor petting zoo. It's it's everything answers one question.
Mhm.
And the sponsors that are on the pavilion this year have bought into this. And that is, the question is, what does this do to the numbers? So as a lot of people know, one of my coined phrases is, if AI doesn't hit the P&L, it's just entertainment. So
Mhm.
truly, what does this do to the numbers? What does your solution, your product, your service do to the numbers? And every sponsor on the pavilion has to show measurable P&L impact. So we're not doing these demo reels. It's not, let's come and show you my logo and talk to you about how long I've been in the industry. It's really a curated group of people that have proven a financial impact that is backed by real numbers, because that's what the attendees told us loud and clear, that that's what they needed and couldn't find anywhere else on that floor. So our expert-led sessions are back. Last year we covered kind of the expensive misconceptions about AI, practical implementations, how to prompt, how to do this, how to do that, how to kind of measure where you're at and how to integrate sort of automation without blowing up your workflow. That structured journey through the pavilion is back. The idea that you can walk in very curious and walk out with conviction and numbers to back your decisions now is what matters most to us. The model that we had in place last year, it worked, but we're building on it this year.
Yeah, I guess that leads right into my next question. So how are we building on it this year?
Yeah. So the programming this year has a stronger spine. 3 days, three distinct themes. So each day builds on the one before. And by day 3, our goal is that attendees are not learning anymore. They're deciding. They're actually able to say, okay, this is how I'm going to approach this. This is what I've learned about cyber insurance. This is what I've learned about how I can embed imposition software within my organization using AI and, that sort of thing. They're going to be able to make decisions and go back to their offices on Monday morning and be able to start to think about things differently. The most exciting thing that I'm really jazzed about is a new kind of feature within the pavilion, which we're calling the loop. And it's a reference to human in the loop, the idea, that AI doesn't replace judgment, it informs it. So what the loop is, it's actually a physical dedicated space inside the pavilion where attendees can interact directly with live tools or submit real files or run their own assessments and see AI working on actual problems in real time. So it's sort of that like belly to belly discussion with our sponsors while they're showing how the numbers that they're bringing into the discussion come to be. And it's not recorded demos. These are not like a sanitized environment. It's your, either customer files or workflows that are not hypothetical any longer. There's real things that that customers are bringing in real time. So every main stage session connects to a loop demonstration. So you'll hear the concept on stage and then you'll go see it running on something real 20 minutes later. So that learn then see cycle is very intentional. And it's to us, that's how conviction around AI actually is formed.
Yeah. No, that sounds super cool. I'm so excited to check that out. So, obviously, the pavilion is a great place to stop by and see all of that stuff. It's going to be super targeted AI information, but I'm sure that exhibitors are going to be showing off their AI solutions at their own booths.
Sure.
And there's going to be other sessions on AI as well. So, in terms of like when someone's going up to a vendor at the show, what do they need to talk to them about when it comes to AI? How can they actually evaluate the AI solutions that they're seeing there?
I would say that if they come in with their own numbers, meaning their own use cases, their own revenue numbers or cost numbers or things that they're trying to improve upon, their inefficiencies, I don't know, downtime on the production floor, whatever it is, if
Mhm.
they come in with their own numbers before they talk to a single vendor, that's going to help drive the conversation around what workflow hurts most if it breaks. When they walk the floor, they've got to have one problem in their head. The worst thing that attendees can do is get seduced by a really slick demo for a problem that they don't have. We see that a lot. We see people coming to us, even to just discuss things. Remember, Printing AI is here for membership or for the membership, and we're a resource available to the industry. So when people come and talk to us, they really are excited about something that they've seen, but you can tell what they've done is been shown something for a problem that they really didn't have, or that they missed, the demo missed the mark by, 30 or 40%. So when they talk to these vendors, ask questions that separate the tool from an asset. So whose data does this run on? Do I own this data? What happens to my knowledge if you go out of business or I leave your platform? Can this be trained on my equipment, my substrates, my exception patterns, or is this a generic tool? What's the actual P&L impact and how do you measure it? Where do humans stay in the loop? What's the governance model? How do you handle my data security? And if vendors can't answer those types of questions, especially the ones around whose data it runs on and who owns the output, that's your answer. The right partner, the right vendor, the right software should make you more sovereign over your own knowledge. If they can't, then that's probably not the right vendor. So these are the types of things, again, we would encourage people to, be prepared for, have a plan. I think it's fair to say if you're going to go talk to a vendor who's got allegedly AI within their application or their product, you got to know the difference between what is yours and what depends on theirs. And that's really critical when it comes to AI.
Yeah. No, that's awesome advice. So, Amy, I am out of questions for you for today. So, thank you so much for joining me to chat. I'm so excited to see how the pavilion ends up looking this year and everything. I'm sure it's going to be awesome. So for everybody listening, you're really not going to want to miss out on the pavilion or the expo in general. So make sure you register at printingunited.com. I'll put a link in the description as well. So, Amy, I'll see you in Vegas.
Yes. See you in Vegas. Thank you.
Thank you.